Hi, good morning. Welcome to an episode of Coffee Break with Card, La Hora del Cafecito sister show. My name is Lourdes Quinones, and I would like to welcome you to the show. So, Coffee Break with Card is a program dedicated to all those in our community who are living with autism, to their family members, and all those who support them. So, come on in, join us at the table, and sign in the comment section below. Let us know if you're drinking a cup of coffee with us. We'd love to say hello to you. In today's program, we'll be talking to Darcy Pritchard, a self-advocate, a member of our constituency board, among many other amazing accomplishments and titles, about how to expand your network of support, how and where to obtain help, and to start your own support group, if that's something that you're interested in doing, and what he thinks it might be the difference between an in-person support group versus Facebook support group. So join us. We have a lot to talk about. But before we get started, let's start out by introducing to you your coffee host, um, coffee break hostesses. I always get Laura in there, as well as our guest for today. Welcome to Darcy Pritchard. Good morning, Darcy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for
also,
having me.
thank you. Thank you for saying hello. And also, thank you for being here to Olivia McDonald. All right. So
Good morning.
I,
Sorry for the congested sound.
I know you were kind of iffy this morning. Um, So, as I mentioned, my name is Lourdes Quinones. I am a card consultant assigned to the primary age, and professionally, I am a physical therapist as well as a special education teacher. And I'm joined, as I said, by Olivia McDonald. Buenos dias, Olivia. And Olivia is an excellent professional in the field of public health. She is a card consultant assigned to the primary age group, just like me. And she is the mother of a beautiful toddler. He is as so he's getting bigger every day, and she has a younger brother who is an adult also, and he's diagnosed with autism. So welcome, Olivia.
Thank you.
Our friends Maggie and Jasmine could not join us today, but they'll be back hopefully next time. They both had other compromises today. All right. And before we get started again, thank you to Darcy for being here, agreeing to be with us. So thank you and welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we get started, let's start by reviewing the rules we want to adhere to, just to maintain a safe environment. Remember to keep an open mind, a positive attitude, and use respectful language. Okay. And Olivia, before we move on, do we have people to greet?
Yes, we do. We have several members of our card family saying hi, including Mark. Hi, Mark. As well as Christine, Adrian, and Ellie.
Hello. Thank you for being here, Christine, Adrian, and Ellie. Thank you.
Oh, and also Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for being here. Welcome. All right. So, as I mentioned before in today's program, Darcy Pritchett is going to be talking to us. He is a self-advocate and also a member of our constituency board, and he's going to be explaining how to expand your network of support and where to obtain help to start your own support group if that's something that you're interested in doing, as well as what he thinks might be the difference between an in-person group versus a Facebook group. So join us. We have a lot to talk about. So let's get started. So Darcy, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm a 41-year-old autistic adult, proud constituency board member of CARD-USF. I have a beautiful wife and 2 kids, and I work for myself in the aerospace engineering and manufacturing industry.
Nothing. Just nothing. That's just aerospace. Nothing. Just that? That's it? Olivia.
I was gonna say
And I have a dog who thinks that he should be.
Oh, it's so cute too.
Good morning, Darcy. Thank you for being with us. I did want to ask you to kind of start off. So, how would you describe a support group, and why do you think it's important for individuals with autism, as well as maybe their family members, to seek support from these groups?
You want to share the?
Sure. Well, sorry.
You can start talking. We can get that going while you talk.
Okay, great. So this topic is important to me because, when I was growing up, we didn't have resources like this, right? So it's important for me that the younger generations that are coming through and the parents that are supporting them, as well as the adults, have access to these resources because it's something I just simply didn't have. In my opinion, support groups are important because they offer a safe space for parents, caregivers, individuals with autism, to have a safe space to share their experiences, to share their resources, and to realize that they're not alone in their journey.
And what has been your experience both with seeking or creating support groups?
So prior to joining CARD, I had the honor of serving as a board member at another nonprofit that was autism focused. And we facilitated some online support groups through the pandemic. I have some experience there, and helpful during a really difficult time.
Mm-hmm. That is something that I think a lot of people also appreciate when they have someone who's already had a little bit of experience and can share about that. So thank you for sharing your experience. First of all, I wanted to say that. So since you've had that experience, I want to ask you, what would you say is the pros and the cons of a facilitation a group through Facebook versus perhaps an in-person? Is there a difference? Did you notice a difference? Would you say there's a difference? What's your opinion about that? And I understand that's an opinion thing. Everybody has their thing. So that's why the pros and the cons in your own opinion.
Sure. I think both have a lot of value, right? They both offer a lot of value. For example, through the pandemic, those saved a lot of people, myself included. I looked forward to them. I know the people that we had in the groups were looking forward to them. Personally, I do find that I experience a better connection with in-person groups, and it's a little easier to form long-lasting connections with people. But I think both are equally valuable.
Exactly. I would add to that in terms of parents who have maybe younger children, or perhaps individuals who need a little more supervision and they're not able to leave the home, I would, I guess, add to that perhaps having the convenience of being able to have that support in the home, so they can access information as well as contact with other people, while also be not having to worry about the expense of paying for childcare or for adult care, or if they don't have family members to leave their loved ones with care. So I would say that's a pro of online, right? Having that. Also, I would add,
Sure.
right, being able to access maybe people in other states or even countries. We were talking about that in La Hora del Cafecito. Our guest in La Hora del Cafecito has been able to reach people from over 20 countries through Facebook, and also her podcast. So this is
Sarah also in the comments brought up a great point about, depending like on a person's like sensory needs, like there might be kind of pros and cons of like meeting either in person or online. So
awesome.
Thank you for sharing that, Sarah.
So what did she say in there? Can I read that again? Put it. Is that an in-person group would have a take different people's needs into account? We'll have to take. I, for instance, can't block out music and am reactive to scents, and I loved an outdoors meetup. Oh, very good point. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry I wasn't able to read that. It was like on my other screen. This is my screen. And I'm seeing that very far away. I can't see that. So thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. That's a great point. Yes. All right.
Okay. So, Darcy, if someone were to start a group, where might one start?
So that would be slide number 2. Are we in 2? Okay. Getting started. There we go. So.
Right. So I guess we could start.
Yeah, you're coming in and out. Yeah, your audio, for me at least, I don't know if it's coming. Okay, so I'll start. So the first thing will be to define the mission and the vision. Try again. And are you talking? I can't hear you. Is it me? Is it me? Go ahead, Darcy.
Oh, yeah. So a good place to start is just by finding, there are individuals who will work with you to do the planning.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So yes.
Finding people in pulling people together, who would benefit from this? Let's get together and get this thing.
Yeah. I would say that, yes. So just wanted to say.
And then you could check out the local programs.
Yes. So we have put up this this PowerPoint presentation, by the way, which is on our website, by the way. And we are also, so if you go on CARD-USF, CARD-USF, look us up. This website, this PowerPoint is available there. It's in video form. It's also available, I believe, on our YouTube page. So you can find it. So this will give you a how-to step-by-step guide onto how to get started at creating your own group, if that's what you're interested in doing. So I would say, Darcy, you might agree with me, starting with a mission or a vision, right? Because you have to decide. A lot of people, you and I were talking about this yesterday. A lot of people think, oh, well, there's already a group that's already doing it. But we were talking about, well, maybe this group, our mission is related to what we think. Maybe we have a theme, right? So we might want to do a Star Wars theme, right? Or maybe it is that we focus like your area space, right? so so by that, so where to find a place, cost effective. You had talked about that, right? So what were some of the places? You had some interesting points for me that you'd be surprised.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. You'd be surprised how many people, first of all, would want to get in, you know, parents, adults, health writers, people will just, volunteer and want to get involved. Um, and I think that's great. Um, you and I are both on the advisory board for Scientists Inc., and we've seen that similar response, right? So it's a science community making science accessible, and their focused for this next Science Fest is making it accessible to individuals with sensory issues and autism. So that's just one example.
Yes. That's an example of a community. Exactly. And we were talking about that a lot of time people don't realize that finding a community might be just getting involved in being in an advisory board and being, you don't have to start a group. You can just maybe be a volunteer in an already existing group and bring in your expertise as a person with autism, right? And so who was it? Cheryl who commented on her sensory needs. So bringing in like our festival is talking about sensory needs, right?
It was Sarah.
It was Sarah. Okay, so it was Sarah talking about her sensory needs. So we're trying to create a science festival that is sensitive to people's sensory needs, so they can access science festival, but in a very sensory aware manner. So that is an excellent way of doing it. So the PowerPoint that we have is, like recruiting the members. Where do you go to recruit members, right? So where might be some of the places, right? So doctor offices is a great place. So depending in the age group, where else might be a good place to recruit members, you know? So depending on the age group, so think at school. So if your child, if your loved one is in a school age, so you would think about, the ESC area. Let them know, the pediatrician's office. Let them know. Listen, I'm starting a group. You might want to go to any area, mental health areas. Even in the mental health offices, they might even be willing to allow you to get those flyers up. In our PowerPoint, it will let you know exactly what kind of information to put on those flyers, right? Those kind of things. The planning of the first meeting, the group. What else did you want to add to that, Darcy? You had some very, insightful things.
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
Right? Yeah. So the new, how to get the people involved in those meetings,
Yeah, I think this really, what you guys were talking about earlier about if there's, there might be a couple different groups, but they may not have exactly the same mission or vision. And so, and that really does impact a lot about how the group works and how it flows. So yeah, this is definitely an important step.
and the areas. Sometimes it's like we are regional over here, we are in a neighborhood over here, in another neighborhood over here. The time of the day they're meeting, right? So um, the first meeting, what happens on the first meeting? What happens when we meet for the first time? What are we going to talk about
Right.
on that first meeting? You know,
The other thing I wanted to ask you, Darcy, is I
Right.
think there's maybe some. Oh, can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Is I think there's maybe some concerns regarding funding. Do leaders who start a group need to, do they need to obtain funding? Do they need to be the ones responsible for financing the group?
I think he's freezing. We were having troubles with his audio and thing. Um, so I know what we were talking about. One way to obtain the funding, I know for sure, is we have to consider sometimes. You know how when you go to restaurants, sometimes some of the organizations who already fund like little leagues and stuff like that. Um, Darcy, if you can hear me, you had talked about the mental health centers, remember? You had talked about mental health organizations sometimes offer even their location.
I,
He's freezing for me. I don't know if he's freezing for you. Uh-oh. Everything is happening here.
Hello?
Go ahead, Darcy.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened. The connection is struggling here. My experience has been that mental health providers in particular are usually willing to provide their space for these types of groups. Um,
And I guess, do you have any advice for like how to best reach out to them?
um, yeah, I mean, and what we did is just reached out to them directly, said, this is what we're trying to do. They were more than willing to open their space because, of course, these are people that might use their services, right? So it's great for them. We even had a few mental health providers that chose to participate and help educate the community and come in as a speaker or a guest. So again, my experience is you'd be surprised how many people, once you get it going, how many people want to get involved.
And I know you mentioned, facilitating like the online support groups. Did you have to worry about funding for when you were facilitating those kind of groups?
So in our case, we were a nonprofit, so yes, we did seek funding. But I could see how it could easily be replicated without funding, at just a community level.
So was it like the funding was like nice to have, but it wasn't absolutely necessary, especially if you were just starting out? Okay.
That's exactly right. We chose to run it on a platform that allowed people to participate globally, to organize it in a way where people were able to sign up ahead of time, get notifications of when it was happening, but it doesn't have to be that complicated.
It seems like it was technology that was like nice to help make things a little bit smoother, but especially as you grow your group, maybe you guys can decide whether it's worth expanding to that level.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of difficulty on my end over here. It's that kind of morning. Thank you so much. You're doing great. All right.
Before we did kind of wrap up, I did want to also share a couple of additional comments from Sarah. I think one was an idea for a program that they're doing in the UK. I think it was when you guys were talking about the science board, and then also just like another model to get ideas for structure.
Autistic inclusive. Yeah. Well, that was fast. Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I think I guess the kind of the takeaway is there's a lot of flexibility, and it's whatever makes the most sense for you and the people you're hoping to form a community around.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the bottom line is
Absolutely.
that there's many ways to build a community. It can be more formal, right? As in a group, right? So if you're interested in creating a group, we've created this PowerPoint presentation sort of to kind of guide people to get them started. It doesn't have to take a lot of money to get it started. All right. It could be, you can find locations, could be free locations like a park. It could be online. So for those of you who are thinking, I don't have money to get it started, you don't have to rent a place first of all. So that's a takeaway. Number one, it could be free. There's benefits of being online versus in person, as we discussed. That's a takeaway. The other thing is, if you are going to do it, if you do need funding, there's ways to get funding. There's a benefit. Don't give up. I think that you and I, Darcy, talked about finding that community of getting started with someone else. Because if you find at least one person to carry the weight with you, right?
Absolutely.
You're likely to get it going. Otherwise, people kind of just going to drop the ball. First of all, it's too much work to get it going. So share the burden. That was another takeaway that we had yesterday when we were discussing this. And then the other thing was that some of the support can be gotten just by volunteering in things such as the card board that you were doing, the science fair thing that we're doing, or even other organizations that can be happening. So those were kind of some of the points that we wanted to bring across in today's show. So that's all we wanted to really share. Anything else you wanted to share, Darcy or Olivia, regarding this issue?
I'm going to put the link to directly get that
I think
PowerPoint. Yeah.
Darcy, say that? What were you going to say, Darcy?
No, just exactly what you said, that, don't try to carry the burden all yourself, share it with others. You'd be surprised how people will jump in and want to help. And honestly, my experience is that it will just take off on its own, you know. And if you follow the PowerPoint that we've got linked on the website, it's a great guidance on how to get these, steps going in order. And it kind of takes off on its own. Community usually wants it.
Yeah. It was so funny because we were talking and your point about you'd be surprised. I'm like, I'm stealing that from now on. I'm using that. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And it's true. You just saying, because you said something very important. You said, once you bring it up, once you say, I want to do this, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. How can I help? That's all it takes, right?
Yeah.
How can I help?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like a snowball. It'll just take off. So thank you. I really appreciate you being here and all that stuff. Well, anyway, so any more comments before we go?
I think if there are any other...
I may have cut off before.
The only other thing is if it looks like Sarah's interested in maybe starting a group. So if there's anyone else in the comments or anyone else viewing this, maybe you guys can get together.
All right, Sarah, we really appreciate it. You see, so we got that PowerPoint ready for you. It goes step by step. It's not the only thing, but at least it'll get you going. We've got some consideration. I'm sure you have great ideas already, but it will get you going. It's a place to get started. We are also working on getting leadership training going at some soon. You'll hear more about that coming up. So, but in the meantime, this is a place to get started. All right. So I want to thank, before we get going, I want to really, really thank Darcy for being on the show, for helping us to bring this information to you. Thank you, Darcy, for taking time to meet, to prepare for this, to being here on the day to do this. So thank you so much for being on our board, always available. Thank you
for having me.
Yes, we appreciate you very much. So thank you.
Thank you all. Serving with CARD-USF, one of the greatest honors of my life. Honestly, you all are amazing. So thank you.
You are amazing. You're awesome. So thank you. Wonderful human being. Thank you. So also I wanted to thank Olivia for putting this together. So thank you, Olivia. Yes, she helps me out so much. So thank you. Anyway, so those of you who are watching this, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them on the bottom over there in the comment section. We'll try to get back to you for sure. If not, while we're still on, right after we get off, we'll always comment back and get back with you to you with resources. And remember, if we make a future show based on your comments or questions, we'll be sure to give you credit on that, okay, on the air for giving us the idea, okay? So be sure to comment. Also, wanted to let you know that on February 10th, we are going to be interviewing Dr. David Berger about preconception health and autism. So be sure to meet us here. Don't forget that. And I'm going to ask you for a little favor before we get off the air. Is that you go on the link that we're going to be posting and let us know how we're doing. This is how we justify the time that it takes us to be here on the air with you. So please, even if you've done it before, do it one more time. We need one of these every time. Again, this is how we justify the time that it takes to create this type of programming. Okay, so thank you from the bottom of our heart for doing that. And in the meantime, we gotta go, but not before we ask you to please give us a like, share this type of our page and our recording with all of those that will benefit from this type of information. And be sure to save every other Friday to be here with us at 10:45-ish. so we can share a cup of coffee with you as we spill the beans on topics related to autism. And until then, we wish you goodbye.
Good vibes and hot coffee.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Darcy. Let's see you next time.